Listen, you're more than just bone and skin. Listen to the song of the wind, the graciousness, the spaciousness coming from within. A concrete brick, a stone, the song they sing is heaven is my home, heaven.
How are you feeling inside now?
Can't put words. I mean, it's just it's been very describe it.
Do you feel numb?
Yeah, there's a sense of just being very, I don't know if blank is the right word.
Empty?
Yeah. It's very...
I always encourage, to get used to this state of emptiness. Because somehow our conditioned mind tends to shun it, to be afraid. Because some negative connotations have been put around the sense of being empty, like useless, you're a dropout or something. You see, not responsible, all these things. These voices come. But you don't pay attention to those for now. Just be in that as that for now. Because those judgments don't belong to this. Any judgment doesn't actually belong to it, you see. And it's not a waiting state. It's not waiting for the next sensation to come. It's not waiting, you see. In fact, there's a silence and a stillness about it. Of course, mind will come now and again to raise some mind, like, some calculations or something. But you have to learn to just ignore that. Ignoring has been also a very powerful tool, a very powerful attitude of many beings who somehow came to the realization of self. They learn to ignore much of the mind's chatter rather than panic or somehow, fight against. No, there's no need to fight the mind at all. You won't win anyway. If you want to break its power, then pay attention to yourself, not to your ego, but to that in whose light the ego sense is perceived, you see. And again, it returns you to emptiness again. Everything culminates into this silence, in this inner silence. If you don't want to use the word emptiness because it triggers some sort of feeling or towards negative, you can call it silence. Silence and emptiness are not different. But mind will come. It says, look, you're not doing anything, your life is not moving on. What are you doing about your future? You see? Your parents will start telling you, it's about time you get married. It starts, you see? It will come. And you have to somehow just keep resting in this. And know that this is not a stagnation. Your presence, your being is not a stagnation. Because something is still does not mean stagnate. In fact, your being familiar with your own stillness, be one with your own stillness, is your most powerful thing.
Guruji, everything that you're just saying, it's actually, I'd written a letter to you last year, and at the start of last year, I had lost both my parents. At a time where I believed that, at a time like that, the conditioned mind had believed that, there would be a lot of support.
That there will be a lot of support.
But in a way, I was left very alone that time. And, everything was kind of being taken away simultaneously. Everyone who I thought would support me, maybe at that time I believed they were being very unfair and it was just not working out. And I prayed at that time for support. And I came across your video on YouTube. And after that, a lot of the old concepts changed. And when I wrote the letter to you, I was in a place where I was so thankful to the universe or to the higher power, that when the mind wanted more support, it didn't provide any.
Yes.
It just made me rely. I don't know even what it made me rely on. But there was just so much of I was just grateful that, that in your words, that grace picked me. It chose me at that time, that, that you don't have any, it was like if I made a list of the things I wanted, it had that list and said, we are not giving you any of this. And I was just very, very, very grateful and at peace with a lot of whatever had happened to that stage. And, since that time, it's been since May last year that I lost my second parent. It almost feels like I've been drifting, but I don't feel I'm lost and I don't feel it's anything wrong. But there are, those who are in my life who, of course, they care, and they are the ones who say, just get another job, or, you have to now become responsible, and these words ring. But I believe, there's something that just keeps telling me that what is taking care of you is far superior than all of this. And I was very doubtful at one point, because I didn't know what is taking care of me. So in anger, I don't know, but I have a lot of fights with God. And I asked him, you have to prove yourself. It was my birthday in October last year, and I said, you prove yourself that what I'm doing is right. And for the first time in 31 years, I had no one to, hug me on my birthday. And I was very angry. And I said, I want a hug. The following day, a couple of my friends came and they had a small baby. I never met that baby in my life. but it didn't stop hugging. That was my proof. Ever since that, a lot of doubts keep coming, but it's like now it's become like a radio playing in another room now. My mind, it's like it's continuously playing, but I'm not really listening to it. Every now and then it's like I visit it, but I know that it's just in another room somewhere. So I just wanted to say that I don't know if I'm standing here as the ego or the self. I don't know all this. But whatever you can see, just whatever you think is not needed, please remove it.
For me, you're just fine. You see? You're my son. The most powerful things that happen sometimes come with much pain, no? You would not, if life was down to us to choose the life you think is going to be the best life for you, you would not include anything uncomfortable. Nobody would do it. You would fill your inner calendar with sugar moments. Thankfully, it is not like that. We grow up with this thing sometimes where he says, because I remember Papaji also saying, I have no friends and I don't want any. I was surprised. I was, oh my God, what is he talking about? Because we grew up with this feeling, new friends are silver, old friends are gold. All this type of stuff. You need. Friends are ones who are there for you when you need them and this type of thing. But sometimes your best friends are the ones who are not there for you when you need them, in a funny way. Because then you have to go beyond the need, and life throws you somehow by yourself for a moment. And you're going to find something much more profound than the comfort your mind seek. You see. And I remember also one time that one man was talking, and he said like this. He said, my life has changed so much because there was a time when we were living in a certain place, we had the most beautiful house, had a beautiful relationship, and everybody, all my friends would come, and they, when they have their troubles, they'd come to us, and we would, rub their hearts with some balm and comfort them and so on. And I always felt in my heart that, this is such a beautiful life. We are like a community of loving people or something. But then my wife left me, and then everything began to just turn gray. All the color went out of my life. Everything went gray. I had to leave my house. Everything was finished. And I thought, okay, now is the time I can call on my friends now, because I've always been there for them. And now I have to call in some chips. So I started to call my book, look to, oh yes, George will be there for me. Ring for George. Hello? George, hey, sorry, how you doing? Man, I need to talk to you. George, I am out of the country right now. And I'm going to be away for a few weeks and so on. Oh, okay. I'll talk to you when you come back. Let's talk to Martin, listen, man, I'm very busy right now. But I'll find some time, maybe towards the end of the week, I come and see you. And one by one, nobody was available. And his heart was collapsing in grief. He said, no, I've always been here for you. And now I need some support. Where are you? Everybody is, sorry, we're not. He didn't realize that it is not people he's dealing with, but God consciousness, you see. take everything away. Then he said, oh my God, I'm left on my own now. He said, I felt like I'm a leaf that has been just cut away from the tree and floating on the surface of the river. And now it starts to sink. It's sinking now. He said, oh no, I don't want to go to the bottom. I don't want to go to the bottom. And you're trying to swim. The leaves going. Oh no, I don't want, no. Like, how bad can it get? And then it come right down. It feel like the leaf landed. Looked around. Wow. I feel good. Da, 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 da. He could not understand. He says, where just his heart burst open, so much love and so much freedom, so much joy. He says, oh my God, how would it happen? He was so full. He could not understand. This is not, I'm not expecting this at all. And then he said, he wanted to go and kiss all the people who told him, I don't have time for you. I want to go and listen, thank you for not being there, man. Because I found something much greater, and don't take it badly, but greater than you and you and you, just, I am free. But sometimes the life is like this, and you came to this place, you saw also, that what must happen will happen, no? Sri Ramana Maharshi, he says something. At his first time, he is a boy, he went to Arunachala. This is the master of my master. No? And he had just run away from home. He had heard of Arunachala and went there. And of course, his mother, nobody knew where he went. And then finally word came to his family, yes, we saw him, Venkataram, we saw him in Tiruvannamalai. So of course she went and she found him, dressed in a loincloth, sitting. Her son. And she tried to convince him, darling, come home. Come home. You see? And then he was not inclined to speak, but he got the word to her. And this is what he wrote. He said to her, no, the ordainer, the supreme, has put in place, set in place, the destiny of all beings. Whatever is meant to happen, that's going to happen, even if you try with all your might to stop it from happening. And what is not meant to happen will not happen if you put all your power to try and stop it. So whatever you want, it's independent of that power, it will happen. So the best course of action, he told, keep quiet. You see? And she felt the profundity of his insight like that, and the love also, and just the generosity of it, the wisdom of it. And she became his closest disciple, actually, isn't it? So what has to happen in some form, that will happen. But you have seen now that it brought you to see something that you would not have seen otherwise. So now you can leave everything to that power. And you say, it's like I'm not fitting into the ideal model of my culture or society, but I don't feel lost. I'm drifting, but I'm not lost. How can you be lost? Lost will always be in reference to some idea that has been put upon you. You should be there. I'm not there. I'm lost. But you know, through the gift of your own insight, you're just right where you are. How can I be lost, you see? So it's a tremendous discovering. And perhaps this is the darshan of your own parents' passing also. That out of such seemingly tragic circumstances, something is blossoming in you, that wisdom. When it has been used well. See?
come and get your blessings.
This you have in abundance.
Can I get a hug from
Yeah.
my father?
Yes.
You're more than just bone and skin. Listen, listen to the song of the wind, the graciousness, the spaciousness coming from within. I alone am, yet I am not alone. Heaven, heaven is my home. Heaven, heaven is my home. Heaven, heaven is my home. Heaven.